So to start today, all you need is your light weights under 5 pounds. I have 2. And you can just put them off to the side. And then you're going to start standing. So just to start, bring your hands onto your hips. And then just let yourself settle for a second. And then feel your weight shift forward into your toes. Just pay attention to what happens through the torso. Do you want to pop your ribs? Do you want to round forward? And then let your weight shift back in towards your heels. And again, just take note, do your toes want to lift? All of those things. And then find yourself in the middle. And then from here, you're going to feel the connection between your ribs and your hips and the gentle wrap of your abdominals. And you can bring your hands to your hips or your stomach, whatever works for you. And you're going to shift your weight forward and just feel how your body is trying to resist that shift. And then let yourself shift back towards your heels, trying to keep those toes down. And then again, shift your weight forward ever so slightly. And then shift back. One more time, shifting forward. And then again, shift back. And then pause here in the center. And you're just going to bend your knees so that they're going right over your toes. And then you're just going to straighten your legs. And as you bend your knees, feel like your tailbone is reaching down towards the floor. Your chest is slightly pitched forward. And then back up, 2 more. Last one like this. And then we're going to come up onto our toes. So from here, as you stand up, think about going tall towards the ceiling as you lift your heels. Whoop. Spread your toes nice and wide. Take a wall or the side of your couch to hold on to. And slowly resist yourself back down. And then when your heels hit, you're going to bend your knees. And then trying to make it as smooth of a motion as possible through flat foot into your squat. And then from that flat foot back up into your heel raise. And don't worry about how high your heels go, but think about keeping that connection through the torso the whole time. And then again, back up, really spread those toes out, and then resist back down into your little squat here. 2 more. And then back down, heels touch, and then back down towards the ground. And up. From here, you're just going to stand towards the back of your mat, and you're going to hinge your hips back. Knees can be nice and soft, but think about the crown of your head and tailbone growing long in opposition, and then stack yourself all the way up tall. And then again, hinge back, getting that nice stretch through the back of the legs, and up. Again, hinge at the hip like someone has, sort of karate chopped you in the hip here, and back up. 2 more. Think about spreading the sitting bones. Again, that connection through the ribs and the hips stays the same. That distance doesn't change. Back up. Last time, pause here in this hinge. And then from here, think about widening your sitting bones even more, and then finding length through the torso, and let your arms fall all the way down towards the ground. Tuck the tailbone under and round your spine all the way up. Your arms will find your sides. Excuse me. Hinge forward. Find that width between the sitting bones. Find that nice length through the back of the legs. And then think about reaching the crown of your head long and then round all the way down towards the floor. And then again, peel yourself all the way up, 1 vertebrae at a time, opening through the front of the hips, and then stack yourself back up. Last time. Hinge at the hips. Find that little bit of extra space and then round forward. This time walk yourself over towards the right and then over towards the left. And then walk yourself out into a plank. Move your weights a little bit out of your way if you need, and then drop your knees. Round your spine up towards the ceiling. Knees are under your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. And then find that width across the front of your body as you find a nice extension. And then again, press through the floor, round up. And find that nice extension. 1 more time, round towards the ceiling. Find that extension, widen the distance between your ribs and your hips. And then pause here in neutral. Slide your right hand behind your head. Then you're just going to press into that left arm and reach up and open towards the right. And then back down, bring your right elbow toward your left wrist, looking over your left shoulder, and then back up and open to the right. and down and twist. One more time, open up to the right and twist. And then pause in the center, bring your right hand down, and we're gonna switch sides. So left hand behind your head, rotate up and open to the left, and then rotate, look over that right shoulder as your left elbow reaches towards your right wrist, and then back up and open, and rotate, and up and open, and down. Last one, open, and then bring that hand down, tuck the toes under, find yourself in a nice plank here, reach your hips up towards the ceiling, soften your knees as much as you need. You're just gonna walk yourself back. Find that length through the back of the legs, the back of through your spine, and slowly peel yourself all the way up. And let your shoulders rest on top of your shoulders. From here, come and grab your weights. Sorry, all the fire trucks are very distracting. 3 of them just went by. Okay, so you have your weights in your hands. And you can either stand with your feet parallel, or you can bring them a little bit wider and you can externally rotate your legs. Your choice, you can do this either way, but my ask of you, if you are externally rotated, is that you're externally rotated from the top of the leg. And now as you bend your knees, either way, your hands are in front of you or to your sides, your choice. Your knees are going right over your toes. Your knees are not going one direction and your toes the other. So you're just gonna start finding a nice squat here. And back up. Your shoulders are nice and relaxed. Your weights are just sort of going for a ride here. And again, if you prefer to do this, your hands by your side in a nice parallel squat, go for it. Everyone will come into external rotation shortly. 3 more. Thinking about reaching your tailbone and your hands towards the floor. 2. Last one. Pause here at the top. You're just going to reach your right arm straight out in front of you and resist it back down. And again, you can stand with your legs parallel as you alternate sides. So resist through the torso as you lift the arm. So you want to make sure that that rib to hip connection is staying the same. Your tailbone is reaching down. You haven't begun to tuck it under or stick your butt out. Head is on top of your spine, ears over your shoulders for 3. 2 more to each side. Last one, making sure your breath has started before you move. Good. And so now, as you lower that arm down, if you're not already externally rotated, go ahead and come into that position. From here, you're going to think about sending your knees over your toes. Your hands are going to come down in front of you. And as you stand up, think about drawing your heels together as you pull both arms up like you're going to elbow someone on either side of you. And then resist back down, lower your arms, and then pull up and down. Resist the weights up and resist them back down. You can almost think like you have a little pulley, and you don't want that pulley to pull you forward as you come down. It was very dramatic. And up. 6 more. Think about that little heel connection, working through the whole inside line of those legs for 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower the arms down. Find a halfway squat. And you're just gonna lift up that left arm and reach it down, staying on that left side for 4, 3, 2, last one. Find that connection between the heels. Feel them draw together, almost like you're gonna wrinkle the mat in between your legs and switch to the other side. Have that gentle tuck under of the tailbone for 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower the arm down, lift all the way up. Bring the hands in line with your shoulders, and you're gonna squat down, and you're gonna reach just the right arm up and bring it down. And press up with that arm as you press the legs to stand tall. 4 more. Shoulder stays nice and relaxed. You're thinking about just opening from the elbow. Your arm is slightly in front of your head or your ear. 2 more. Last one. And back down. Other side, lowering down, lifting that left arm up and down. And up and down. 5 more. Use your breath to sort of propel you upwards, but your arm is doing the work. Your leg is not just pushing that weight overhead. 2 more. Last one. Good. Pause here. You're going to squat down. You're going to twist and rotate and punch over towards the right, and then you're going to come back. You're going to rotate and press to the right and back. So your palm is facing your face, and your palm is facing the ground as you twist and rotate. 6 more. Your hips are staying square. The rotation is just through the torso. For 3, 2. Last one. Stand all the way up. Reset. Come halfway down. Twist and rotate. So left palm faces the floor. Pull it back in. And twist. And back in. And twist. And in. 7 more. Nice and controlled. Really think about that rotation through the rib cage and then rotating back to center as you come back. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, and then come all the way up, bring your legs together, and drop one of your weights. You're gonna bring your left hand behind your head, and the weight in your right hand. Find that connection between your ribs and your hips. Your knees are soft, and you're thinking about getting a little gentle, lift up through the spine, through that left hand, supporting your skull. Feet firmly planted under your hips. You're gonna let your right ribs come towards your hips as you side bend, let that weight pull you down, and then come all the way up and square yourself off. And then again, just coming over to the right. If you would like, you can hold both weights in one hand, but you really don't need to, that's not necessary. And we are gonna add a little arm lift here in a few minutes. Over to the right and up. Good, your hips stay nice and square, just moving that rib cage. A little bit of a theme, the rib cage isolation here. 3, 2. Make sure your knees are soft, they haven't hyperextended. Last one. Pause here at the top. You're gonna lift your right arm out to the side to a T and then resist it back down. Again, knees are soft. Lift it up. You have a soft bend in your elbow. Your hand is slightly in front of your elbow, or shoulder rather, and your elbow. 6 more. 5. Take a nice deep breath. 4, 3, resist that weight down. 2, and last one. Good, we're gonna add both together. So you're gonna side bend over to the right, come all the way up, and then bring that right arm up, lower it down when it hits your side, or when it gets to neutral, it doesn't need to touch your leg. You're gonna side bend, and up, and over. Really think about drawing your right rib to your right hip and then using the left rib to meet the left hip on the opposite side as sort of your counter motions that you're really thinking about finding that engagement and even work through both sides of your torso. 3 more. Check that you're not pressing your head forward with your hand. And last one, to this side. And up and lower all the way down. Shake your arms out, we're gonna switch sides. So, right hand behind your head. Again, find that little lift. Find the connection through the front of your body. Side bend up and over to the left. And back up. Check in with your knees. And up. 12 total. Right rib slides down. 4. Find a little bit of length at the top. 2. And last one. Pause here at the top, holding steady. Lift that left arm and resist down. Again, elbow can be soft. Arm is slightly in front of your hand, in front of your shoulder. Make sure you haven't shifted your weight. You're not way back in your heels or up on your toes. 6 more. And then we will combine them for 8. 4, 3, 2. Last one, lower all the way down. Side bend up and over to the left. Feel the right rib or left rib and hip come together. Square yourself off and then lift that arm. Make sure you're not adding a bend to the right. You're just pausing at the top and back over. And up. And over. And up. 4 more. Two. Feel that ribcage slide down. Last one. Good. Lower all the way down. And then you're just going to place your weights off to the side. We don't need them for a few minutes. And then you're going to come onto your knees here. And from here, you're just going to bring your right leg out to the side. And you can have your back toes tucked under on that left foot if you'd like. Or you can press your foot straight down, top of your foot down into the floor. Make sure you have enough room behind you. And that foot can be in line or very slightly in front of your foot here. And then think about tucking the tailbone under, finding an opening through the front side of this left hip. And also the right leg is nice and straight. And then from here, you're going to bring your hands behind your head. And you're just going to side bend out until you find that nice long line. And you're going to come up and over to the right. And then again, find that nice long line. Think about your hands helping you find that length. And side bend up and over to the right. And again, find that long line over to the right. Using your breath to help bring you back up. 2 more like this with this long line out to the side. Over, last one like this. Good, and then from here, you're gonna find that long line, and you're gonna go down an inch, and then up to that long line. And then down an inch, so shortening the distance between your left rib and hip, and then coming into more of that neutral. 5 more. 4. If it's too much with your hands behind your head, bring them in front of your chest. 3. 2. And last one. Come all the way up. Bring your hands out to the side. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Right hand behind your head. And you're going to rotate towards the floor. And then reach and open that hip as you come to neutral or slightly towards the ceiling. Whatever your side flexibility and mobility allows for. Ideally, we can all open up towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. So there's a little movement in the hips here, more than previous rotation we've done so far today. And back up. Last time like this. Just pick a spot and stay if it feels good. Reach your arm up overhead. Think about pressing the floor away, really arching those ribs up towards the ceiling. And then come forward and bring your hands, excuse me, bring your hands onto the floor. And then from here, sit your hips back towards your heel. And then bring yourself forward up into this modified all fours position. And slide yourself back and come forward. 3 more. Getting that nice stretch to the underside of that right inner thigh and forward. 2 more. And last one. Good. Pausing here. If you would like, you can bend your knee, and you can do this with your legs from all fours and your knee bent like this. Otherwise, your leg is out to the side. You're going to roll onto the inside edge of that foot. You're going to take a huge inhale, and then exhale, lift that foot, and then tap it back down. And if you're doing the modified version, you're starting from here and you're lifting it out to the side like this. Your choice. You're going maybe an inch or 2 off the ground and then placing it back down. You're holding for a count of 1, 2, 3, back down. Inhale here, we're doing 2 more. Exhale, lift, 3, 2, 1, back down. Trying not to let your weight shift all the way to the left. Last time, up, 3, 2, 1, lower that leg down. And then come all the way back up into this tall kneeling position. Hands out to the side one more time. Fall over to the left. Shift your weight towards the left so that your shoulder is right over your wrist. Right arm up towards the ceiling, on your hip, behind your head, your choice. And then you're just going to float that right leg up and hold for 10, 9, 8, feel your torso, your ribs draw together to help stabilize you. 4, 3, 2, last one, lower it all the way down. One more stretch over to this left side. Press your hips forward gently. Maybe you'll get a little hip flexor stretch in that left side or right side. And then come all the way down and switch sides. So, right leg on the ground, left foot out to the side. And then walk yourself up and find a nice stable position here. Again, left foot planted on the floor. It can be slightly in front of your hips. Tuck that tailbone under. Gently press your hips forward so that you're in a nice straight line over your knee. Hands behind your head. And then come out to that nice long line and side bend up and over to the left. Repeating that whole sequence now on this opposite side. If this is tender on your knees at all, you can fold your mat under, or you can grab a towel to put underneath your knee. That long line, and back in, and out, and back in. Make sure that knee is right underneath your hip, that right leg. And again, keeping that distance between your ribs and your hips pretty even until you side bend over and shortening that distance on that left side now. 2 more. Last one. Good. Find that long line. Pause here. Go down an inch and up for 8. And down and up. Again, your torso is pointed forward. You can always bring those hands in front of your chest. If hands behind the head is too much, make sure that you're in a nice long line. Use your hands pressing into your head for help. For that 3. Last one. Come all the way up here. Arms out, and then place that right hand down. And then from here, bring that left hand behind your head. Rotate your spine towards the floor. And then rotate up, press forward with the hips gently as you open towards the ceiling. And then again, rotate down and open. And down, and open. 2 more. Last one, and then you're gonna pause here wherever it feels good. Reach that left hand up overhead. Press the floor away, and you're gonna come all the way up. And your hands coming down in front of you. So, right knee underneath your right hip, hands underneath your shoulders, and then slide yourself back, glute towards your heel, and then coming forward. Getting that nice inner thigh stretch. Going at whatever range of motion feels good here. but your torso is staying nice and parallel to the floor. 2. Last one, pause here. Again, you can always bring your knee in and bend it on the floor. And then if not, if your leg is all the way out, you're gonna roll onto that inside edge. We have 5 of these little challenging pickups. You're gonna take a nice big inhale. Exhale, lift it up for 1, 2, 3, put it down. Inhale, exhale, and lower. Making sure you are keeping your torso even, putting a little bit of extra weight into that left hand perhaps. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Last time, inhale, exhale, 3, 2, 1. Walk yourself back, coming all the way up tall. Hands out to the side, fall up and over towards the right. Shift until your weight is right over your shoulder over your hand. And then extend your arm or put it where it works for you. Float that leg up and hold it for 10, 9, breathing here, 7, 6, try to find a little bit of extra length, 4, 3, 2, and last one, lower that leg down, come all the way up. From here, come all the way up, and then you're gonna stand with your legs nice and wide. We're gonna sort of build the 2 things we just did into standing a little before we go back down onto the floor for some more arms. So shift your weight over towards the right. Your hips go back. Your ribs and hips are staying in the same connection. You can have your hands on your hips or in front of you, your choice, and then lift up like you're gonna press off the floor with that right leg. So slide back over to that right side. That left inner thigh may get a little stretch, and then press up straight. And then back down. 3, 2, 1, press up. 3 more. 3, 2, 1, and press. Last time like this. And press over to the left side. So holding for a second and press up. And again, 3, 2, 1, and press. Keeping your feet nice and even. Toes are still pointed forward. Knees are pointing forward. Press. 3 more. 2, 3, 2, 1, and press. Last one. Press. Good, keeping that rib to hip connection even. Pressing into the right side and then down over to the left. Alternating sides. Pressing through that whole foot, coming up to stand nice and tall, and then bending over to the other side. 2 more to each side like this. Moving at whatever pace is comfortable. Last one to the right. Last one to the left. Standing up nice and tall. You're gonna go over to the right. You're gonna bend both legs, stay nice and low, straighten the right leg. Shift over, straighten the left leg. Think about your head is sort of like just underneath a little shelf. And you're alternating from one side to the other, keeping that rib to hip connection the same. The tailbone is reaching long behind you, and your head is just sort of floating along for the ride. For 3, think about opening up through the back of that knee. 2, maybe you can find that one of your inner thighs, adductor, is a little tighter than the other. Last one, and then come all the way up. This time, coming straight down, shift your weight over to the left. You're gonna roll onto that inside of that right leg. Walk your foot in underneath you a little bit more if you need. Weight is all the way on that left leg, and then you're just gonna pick your right leg up and hold for 3, 2, 1, put it down, shift over to the other side. Lift it up for 3, 2, 1, put it down, shift. Hold here, lift. You can also just come to the top of your toe, tapping it on the floor. 3, 2, 1, down, over to the left, lift it up, knee stays tracking straight ahead. Last time to the right. 3, 2, 1, last time to the left, and lift for 3, 2, 1, and stand all the way up. Shake your legs out, come to the back of your mat, find that nice hamstring stretch here, and lower all the way down to the ground. And walk yourself out into a nice plank. Drop your knees down, tuck the toes under, and lay all the way down onto the floor. Make a little pillow for your head. And then just give your hips a little shake out here. Bend the knees, and then you can do the same, just windshield wipering your legs from one side to the other. And then extend your legs long, keeping your legs active, but not like you're not squeezing the muscles to death. And then you're not going to use your weights for a second, so just bring them off to the side so that they're not like immediately going to be in your way when you extend your arms out in a little V next to you. So you have that pillow for your hands. From here, tuck the tailbone under gently. Find that space through the front of the hips and also length through the low back. You're going to keep your arms on the ground. You're going to slide your shoulder blades gently down and back together. And you're going to float your chest up off of your hands. Again, just take this time here where you're supported to find that length through the low back and that extension right around where your sports bra band would be if you're wearing one. Lower all the way down. 3 more just like this. Just taking the time to isolate where that movement will come from. Last one. And then lower all the way down. From here, extend your arms out into a V. You can leave your hands on the ground or you can pick them up with you, your choice. I'm going to leave my hands on the ground for the time being. You're going to take a nice big inhale and then exhale, lift. And then lower down. 2 more. Not coming up very high, especially if your hands are staying connected to the floor. Last time, hold here. Find that length in the low back. You're going to lift your right hand up. Place your left hand on the ground regardless of whether you were picking your hands up before. You're going to pull your elbow in toward your side and you're going to extend. And you're going to pull it in and extend. 4 more here, keeping this little extension. 3, 2, last one. Extend that arm down. Lower your right hand to the floor. Pick your left hand up, bend that elbow in by your side, and then extend it. Your hand stays slightly below your shoulder. 3, tuck that tailbone under. Find that connection in the mid-back rather than your low back. You can always lower down a little. Last one. Leave the left arm lifted. Lift the right, both arms in, and extend for 6, 5, 4, gaze is straight down at the ground or ever so slightly in front of you, but not straight ahead. 3, 2, last one. Lower the head all the way down. You can make that pillow again for your hands. Give your hips a little shake. And then from here, bring your hands back by your sides, palms facing up, shoulders rounded forward. You're going to think about externally rotating the upper arm. Back of your hand can stay on the floor. And then from here, start to reach your fingertips back. Bring your gaze to the floor as you lift your hands up. Palms facing up. You're going to reach toward your toes as you lift your chest into that extension. And then you're going to lower back down to this neutral position, but you're still floating off the floor. And you're going to reach back and lift, find your extension, and lower toward your neutral. 5 more. 4, only coming as high as you feel that extension in your upper back, mid-back rather, than your low back. 2 more. Last one. Find that neutral. Press your arms up towards the ceiling and lower them down to your hips, and up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower everything all the way. Let your shoulders round forward. Give your hips a little shake. Hands come right underneath your shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Press the floor away. Lift up into a nice plank here. And then bring your knees down to the floor. Grab onto your weights. Have one of them just underneath you. Your left hand is going to come onto the floor. Right hand with the weight. And you're going to pick it up and bring it in line with your torso. Palm facing in, you're just going to extend, reaching your pinky up towards the ceiling, and then bend back in. And then extend and bend it in. 5 more like this. 4, 3, 2, last one. Bend that arm in. You're going to tuck the toes under on that left leg and go for 5, 4, and you can modify going back to the previous version at any time. 2, hips are square. Last one. Bend that elbow. Float that leg up. Extend for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Lower that leg down. Bring that right arm towards the floor. You're going to lift the leg and pull up and lower. And pull up and lower. Bring that hand towards your hip for 8, 7, 6, 5. Your shoulder blade gently draws in. Think about lifting from the back of the leg. 3, 2, last one. Lower the arm, lower the leg. Bring it underneath you. Switching sides. So, starting with that weight in your left hand, bringing it right up in line with your torso, and then extending it back into that tricep kickback and bend it in. Your knees are right underneath your hips, your hand underneath your shoulder. You're staying nice and parallel to the floor, or square rather. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bend that arm in, tuck the toe under on that right side. Readjust as you need and you find out that you're not in nice alignment or optimal. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Bend the elbow and lift the left or right leg up and extend for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bend that elbow, lower the hand towards the floor, lower the toes, and then pull up into that row and tap the toe down. We're doing 16 of these. 3, 4. Again, think about lifting from the back of the leg. You can always bend that knee if you prefer, and lifting like this to having it straight. For 7, 6, make sure your weight hasn't shifted over to that left side. For 4, 3, 2, and last one, lower it all the way down. Put your weights off to the side. You do not need them for the last few minutes. And you're just going to sit onto your heels for a second. Bring your hands together and then make one little fist. And you're just going to roll your hands, roll your wrists around. We'll give them a break. Although we are going to end with some planks. Roll them back around. We'll start with some forearms. Forearm planks though. Excuse me. My apologies. Let me grab water 1 second and we'll finish. Sorry. Okay. So from here, you're going to come forward onto your forearms. You're going to have your elbows underneath your shoulders and your hands straight out in front of you. You're going to tuck your toes under, and you're going to find yourself in a nice plank. Tuck the hips under, and you're going to press forward through your toes. Hips stay with you, and you're going to shift your weight forward. So shoulders over your elbows, and then back. Shift your weight forward like you're looking over a cliff, and back. Pushing through your whole hand, your whole forearm. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. Pause here, lower your knees. Shift your weight back over your hips. Getting a nice stretch through the torso, almost like a puppy stretch, I think it's called in yoga. I guess, but your knees are down, you're not on your feet. And you're gonna come forward. Staying here, you're gonna walk your legs back behind you. You're gonna bring your right hand onto the floor and your left hand onto the floor. Find yourself in a nice kneeling plank here. pressing the feet into the floor, tuck those tailbone under, find that nice length through the front of your torso. Elbows back behind you as you lower all the way down towards the floor. Let your whole body touch. Exhale, press up. Your hips come with you. Your head comes with you. So you're not dragging. You're moving all in one long line from the knees to the crown of your head. Again, touching the floor at the bottom. Press away with your breath. 4 more. 3, elbows back behind you, nice and close to your body. 2. And last one. Good. Press back towards your heels. You can bring your knees nice and wide if that feels good. And then press the floor away as you sink your hips towards the ground. Take a moment here to really relax. Take a big inhale, feel your ribs expand to the side. Think like you're trying to get an extra little millimeter almost of width between the ribs from one another, between the ribs from the spine. And then walk yourself over to the right. Press the floor away as you sink your hips over towards the left. And then going over to the other side, press the floor away to the left as you shift your hips over towards the right. And then bring your hands in front of you and then think about look slightly ahead of you and then think about sinking your chest towards the floor, getting that nice stretch through your upper back. Then you can place your head down, but still thinking about softening your sternum towards the floor. And then shift your weight forward. Find your hands underneath your shoulders one more time. Tuck the toes under. And then lift up into a downward dog. From here, think about finding length through your back. Bend both knees a bunch. And you're going to send one heel down towards the floor and then switch to the other side. Pardon the yelling if you can hear that. Toddler life. And switching sides. One more time to the right. One more time to the left. And then you're going to pick both heels up and you're going to send them over towards the left, getting a little stretch here through the right side, and then pick them up, put them down over to the right, getting a nice stretch through that left side now. And bring them back to the center. Soften your knees a whole bunch and then walk your hands back towards your feet. And you're just going to hang here for a moment. Shake your head yes, and shake your head no. And then walk around to the right side. Send your left hip back, giving you another little stretch. And then other side. Pulling back with that right hip. Soften your knees. Find that little extra reach and length towards the floor. With those nice soft knees, you're going to start to peel yourself all the way up. One vertebrae at a time. And you're just going to bend your knees and then come up onto your tippy toes. Reach the arms up overhead. And then sink down. Leave your arms up. Think about you're holding onto a bar here above you. Press down with your hands. Find that connection between your ribs and your hips. With your hands by your side, you're going to bring your left hand behind your head. Side bend up and over. Bring that right arm all the way over. If it's more comfortable to just reach down towards your side, that's fine. You can also do both. And then bring that right hand back towards your side. Right hand behind your head. Sweep the left arm up and over as you side bend to the right. If you'd like, lower that right arm down. Come all the way up. Find that nice connection between your ribs and your hips. Lift your hands up one more time. Externally rotate your arms. Press down. Grow a tiny bit taller. Big inhale, then exhale. Let your arms fall by your side, and you are all finished. Hope you have a great week.